Hello, welcome everyone to for the third episode of Relationships Should We Talk About It. And today I have my special friend and gentleman, Sul Wynnes Jones. Hey Sul, how you be?
I'm good. I'm a little bit. This topic actually is I'm a little bit nervous about it, to be honest, because I have a point of view that I suck at relationships. So let's see what else is possible here.
Yeah. So maybe you can just start by pushing down our barriers.
Yeah.
And having a lot of fun on that.
Yes.
And I love the fact how it's funny when you say that. I was like, what? I mean, I knew Sul, for those who doesn't know, I knew Sul for a bit now, and we are doing the Return of the Gentleman class all over the world and online. And I so fucking love you, my friend. And I love what you are creating with your relationship. And yeah, I would love you to watch at your relationship through my eyes for a minute. So could you present yourself?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so hi guys, I'm Sul, and I realize it's a little bit dark, so I'm gonna turn the light on 1 moment. There we go. And yeah, I mean, I think part of relationship, part of what I've always wanted to be better at is when you get the information of what someone requires in a situation and just being able to deliver it. And quite often that's like the piece where it's like I get the information and then in going to deliver it, it just always comes out like weird and like awkward and confused. And so yeah, I mean, I don't know if any of you have that, but that's definitely something that I desire to have different with relationships. And like for example, someone like Dane, I just admire so much the way that he's able to just deliver the energy that someone requires and like not lose himself, not give himself up, but he's just able to be it. And yeah, so
yeah, it's all about that, what you're asking. Yeah, duplicating Dane on that. Yeah. And it's funny, like just to be aware of what do you desire, like what do you want to experience, and like how you can keep being you while experiencing new stuff. I love experiencing new stuff because it's like, how do I like even to bring more joy in my life? Like, let's just experience it. And I was talking about that with Viktor last week about my tantric experiences. It was, oh my God, yeah, I'm so glad I've been there, even if I was not aware of what's going to be. And it's just like, test that. And when you meet someone, just having discussion with them, like, and ask yourself, yeah, what can they earn? What can they receive? And just do it for yourself. And if it's not fun, like, just move on. We don't own nobody, and nobody's on you. Like, it's like, yeah.
This is very true. And I think especially like, as men, I think, a lot of us have, maybe sought to like have a relationship where we were either owned or, we felt like we owned someone because that's what you sort of see around you that you're supposed to have. And it's like, it never actually works for any of us because it's not actually what's true for us. But yeah, I mean, one one thing as well that I've noticed, I guess, recently in my, I would say relationships with everyone is being present and actually realizing how much I will check out when I'm just even like talking to someone or something. And it's like, that's something that I've really desired to change and be different. And I've asked, and I'm starting to see a whole lot of the places where I'm not choosing it, but also starting to see where I have choices and possibilities to choose it that I didn't have before. So
I love that.
Yeah. I wonder as well, like, I'm not sure with this call, like, are we doing POC and Pod? Are we just having a talk, or we can do whatever?
We can do whatever we want. Like,
Yeah.
if you want to do POC and POC, like, let's just say, like, so if Sul or I just pod and POC, there is a clearing statement. Just go and see www.accessconsciousness.com/the clearing statement. Dane speak about it like wisely, and I love it. And yeah, we can do whatever you want. And I just like to, I remember, so like a year and a half ago, a bit less, like we were invited to lunch by Brendan, Simon, Gary, and Dane for us, Sul, which one was of the first time I met you at that lunch. There was like Anne Stolman and Mark Hare, and they just asked us if we wanted to create the Return of the Gentleman class based on the Gentleman Club by Gary Douglas and Return of the Gentleman, the book by Dr. Dan Ear. And we said yes. And so we're starting to be more in connection, all of us together, like in some trade, like creating those classes and stuff. And I remember during your first class in Nusa last year, so we were co-facilitating the class all together. And at some point we had a drink at the bar and we go to pay for the bill. And it was the first time. I love to talk, as you can say, but I was next to you, my friend, and we were connected without any words. And for the first time, I was like, oh, sometimes it could be awkward, like when you are just next to someone, like, you know him, and it's like, there is no word, no one said nothing. And at the same time, the energy was beautiful and there were no needs of word. You know what I mean? And I was like, I love so much to talk, and should I say something? And I just put and talk myself and say, no, just receive that. And it have be awesome. And when you talk about what you choose now, like to be aware of, be present with people when you are around and stuff, I see so much change in the past year, like so much change, and it's so cool. And at the same time, just you being you a year and a half on now, it's just the most beautiful gift for the planet. Just you by being you, and I love that.
Thank you, my friend. And yeah, I think that's one of the things. I'm not sure if any of you have got this going on as well, but you know, like if you've ever made yourself wrong for not having all of the words available, but you do communicate with people in a different way, and I think that's part of how I guess I relate to people. And yeah, it's anyway. I'm asking as well for what else is possible, but yeah, in terms of like what as well we could contribute to you guys, it's like I wonder with this, because something that I've looked at a little bit as well of like, okay, so if I'm not willing to be present with someone, or I'm not willing to engage with them, it's like what future am I creating, and what future am I willing to have? Because as well, it's like, how many of you use not being present with someone or not engaging with someone as a backdoor to creating some kind of future? So everything that is times a godzillion, and will you destroy and uncreate it all?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And it's like, how many of you actually do desire to create a greater future with your relationships, and you just don't have any idea like how or where to go or what to say or even how to like begin that. And so I would say it's like, it is that place of just starting. And like Romain says, and he's great at this, lowering your barriers, just going up to someone and saying, hey, how's it going? And starting a conversation. And like, yeah, this is the place, I guess, where it's also being the leader of this, because it's like no one else is going to choose it for you. You're the only one that can choose it. And people will start to interact with you differently when you are being that possibility and being more willing to receive it.
Yeah, I love that. And it, the thing it's funny when you have a lot of point of view on someone, like if someone like you kind of just afraid go there and like, oh my god, or oh I don't know, I judge myself, but like I have so many point of view on that person and blah blah, and after you just judge yourself just for having point of view on that person. What I do now, I just fucking be present, lower down my barriers now, just go to see them and like, yeah, what else is possible? Hey, how you be? My name is Romain. How are you? And it's so funny because a lot of people I had a lot of point of view on, or I was afraid of some kind of resistance of them, and made myself wrong at the time because they didn't do anything to you. Why are you so resisting to them? And so I was like, okay, go. Boom, I go there. And like, it's creating so fucking good relationship. You know, like if you're resisting to someone a lot, it could be some part of a mirror thing about you. And like, just lower down your barrier, pull energy, just go there. And what can happen wrong? Like, if it's not something fun, if the conversation not good or whatever, just move on. Hey, see you later, guys. But
yeah,
it's
a
open,
great point.
wide open.
Yeah, like what's the worst that could happen? And yeah, I agree. I've also had that where it's like there's people that I've just resisted, and then I've talked to them at some point and just gone afterwards like, why did I ever resist that person? Like, I don't get it. I was like, you know, and it's funny. And I think sometimes as well, it's like the people that we resist the most are like some of the people that might actually also, you know, be some of the biggest contributions in our life and everything. So we're cute, but we're not always bright.
Not bright. Yeah. And it's funny because I'm in the club consciousness of Shannon, and there is a WhatsApp thread. And at some point, someone was talking about that. And I said, oh, do you know, when I go to an access classes, I just pick the one I resisting the most, and I just go there and ask to trade bars. And it was so funny because one of the people in the thread said, but you did ask me bars during COP in Nusa last year. And I said, yeah, what if it just set us free, you know? And she just laugh and move on. Yeah. What if it can be a contribution to you? Like everyone is a contribution to you. And like, if you're just pushing down your barriers and be able to receive from different people and different kind of people, like from everyone, what else is possible for you, for them, and for the world? Yeah.
I love that. And it's like, you know, you have a lot of ease and fun with this. And, you know, that's something that I also really admire and am asking for. Because, yeah, I mean, you know, I had all sorts of points of view about how serious relationships needed to be, and, you know, how it's like what you had to be and do to create one. And, you know, like there's just so many. It's one of the places where there's probably the most fixed points of view. And so, you know, it's like for any of you guys out there as well that are looking for a different possibility, it's like, no, this is one area that if you're even choosing something like different right now, you're doing a really good job.
Yeah.
And if you've got a sense of fun and ease and joy with it, it's like, good on you. And how does it get better than that?
Yeah, and, when you was talking about that, I was like, what was brought up to my mind was my relationship with my wife, which I've been with like for 16 years plus now, since her 20s, with like roller coaster, like up, down, like it's all about choice and what do you want to create, and just looking at it now as a creationship instead of a relationship, like something we could choose to create more and more and more and more and more, and it doesn't have to be like being together all the time 24/7, doing all of creation together and stuff. No, not at all. It's just like have the willingness to let others contribute to you. It's funny, like a few years back we almost like separated, and at some point I just said to her, like when we was asking ourselves like where do we want to go, like for ourselves, like really for ourselves, where do we want to go, and you can just match it, and like 98% of the thing is going to the same direction. So what else is possible? And I told Elodie, I said like, oh look, I don't need to be with you, I don't need you, I just like to be with you. I said it in French, so it was not, but it was like not about the place of need, but just because I'd like it. I like to be with you, I like to have fun with you and stuff, like what else we can create different. And it was maybe 5 or 6 years ago. And always ask, like, destroy and create your relationship with your wife, your kids, or whoever you are in relationship, and starting by yourself on a daily basis. Like, what if you can start with a white canvas every day and say, what are we going to create today? And the one thing I want in my life on a daily basis is having fun. And why I bring that, it's like, it's not, sometimes you're in a relationship, like it's not fun, or you don't have to swipe every relationship you are in. You can just ask question and asking to what I desire. It's starting by that. And one of the thing you remember, so Sul did like 2 Return of the Gentleman intro in the on February, and the first one was in Geneva at the beginning of the month. And one of the participants just give me the feedbacks. Oh fuck, I didn't knew, like we are all projecting stuff on other, and also we think they are asking that, but it's not what they ask. So it's a like mind-blowing system, like full of projection, and oh, I will do that because I want to please her or him. And at the same time, we don't know what we desire. We didn't ask him what they desire. So we just cut part of ourselves to fulfill some box that don't even desire. So what else is possible if you try to communicate with your husband, your wife, your partner, your kids, or whatever, just like, hey, what do you like? What's work for you? What do you want more? And ask yourself the same.
Yeah, and one of the things that you said there that I'd just like to add to is with the projections and the expectations, it's like, and a lot of relationships are created based on like what someone thinks that they desire in a relationship from another person that they will project and expect, which creates the separations, the judgments, and the rejections. But without ever actually having looked at first, all right, so if I really desire this in my life, do I need the other person to deliver it? Or can I actually create it, like, and have it in my life? Whether that person's, willing to contribute to it or not, or whether they're willing to be the way that it comes to me or not. But it's like, it is also that place where, okay, so if you weren't in a relationship, would you still actually be creating this? Or is the projection and the expectation the way that you give yourself, like the reason and justification for not having it? So this is one of the ways that we can also, like, that often relationship is created based on destruction, not creation. because it's like then you start to go into all of the, you know, blame, shame, regret, guilt, all of that stuff, which is just a vicious cycle of limitation, basically. And what Romain was talking about is a creationship, where it's like, okay, so what can we actually create today? And it's like, if you started to look at all of your relationships as, okay, what's possible with this person? And it's like, I love that question, because if you're asking, what can I create with this person? What's possible with this person? It doesn't mean you have to do everything with them. It doesn't mean you have to be best friends. It doesn't mean anything. It just means, oh, there might be something here that's possible to create. What is it? And let's play. Let's see what it is. Let's see what's possible.
Yeah, and really about that, like happiness, like really happiness is just a choice, is a muscle you can train on a daily basis. And yeah, it's awesome how, like, when you realize like you are the creator of your life. And I know I will probably tell that on every weekly call, because like, just when you realize that, yeah, I'm the creator of my life, like nothing happens to me, I'm creating everything. So if I choose happiness today, if I choose to fulfill my happiness glass on a daily basis without the need of everyone else, but with the willingness to receive contribution for everyone else, it brings so much lightness into your world and the world of people like around you. Like, as you said, like, I don't wait on Elodie to fulfill my needs. I just ask myself, hey, what can we create? What do I want in life in those 10 seconds? Okay. And after that, what's the next step? And I just choose to be happy on my side, like just by being me and doing things we would bring joy into my life. And by doing that, it's just being the invitation for her or everyone around to choose more for themselves. And at the same time, just allow her to be the contribution to my life as she allowed me to be the contribution of her life, without putting any pressure, like, oh, you are my wife, so it's on you to get me happy or whatever. Like, when that pressure just go off and you have way more lightness, just create so much more for your creationship. Like, yeah, what can we create together? And as I said, we don't have to do everything together. I was in Melbourne last week for a week, like we are creating, and she's a contribution to my creation and vice versa, like just by who we are. And that's something really nice. Oh, there is some people like Leah, I'm okay with people I feel repelled by and can clear that. It's people I'm attracted to, I struggle with, I forgot all the clearing and my mind shut down. Yeah, it's Dane said, if someone attracting you so much, just run. Like, I mean, go for it. I know you have something now.
No, I mean, yeah. Well, it's like the same. If you look at it from, okay, so what, like from who you're avoiding and then who you're attracted to, it's like often you'll be attracted to people that have kind of like a similar energy or a similar way of being in the world, unless, like, if you're talking about wanting to have sex with someone, which is, yeah, as Dane said, you might want to look for something else, because often that might not be the best choice. But it's just a choice anyway, whatever. And yeah, I would say it's the same thing though, in that it's like, what if you could lower your walls and barriers and be with that energy, be present with someone? Because it's also enjoyable, and it's like you can play with it and you can have fun with it. It doesn't have to be like because you're talking to them now you have to have sex with them or whatever it is. It's like, what if you could have that sexual energy there and just enjoy it, and let your body enjoy it, have fun, and if it goes somewhere, great, and if it doesn't, great.
Yeah, even if you'd like to have some sex with that person at the first place,
yeah,
keep asking questions. Yeah, will that be fun? Like, will my body will be happy? Will I will learn something? will that make me money even? Like, and just keep asking questions. The only thing you don't want is like to, when you are attracted badly by someone, it's just like you can have a lot of positive judgment, and though you're not aware, you don't want to ask more questions about what's beyond that. And so just keeping asking questions and see what's going on.
And Christoph mentioned that he's been like in Access for about 2 years and can't imagine the thought of being with a woman who doesn't have the tools. And I would say be a little bit careful with that one, because you know, there is a lot of women in Access, but it's also limiting yourself to what you could receive. And it's like there could be someone that you might meet that could completely change your world and would give you a greater reality with Access and your life and living. And it's like, yeah. And I get it as well. Like Access gives you a very different point of view and a lot more ease in so many areas of your life. So I get that. And pretty much if someone's going to be in your life and you're using the tools, they're either going to love it and get on board, or they're probably going to hate it and run away. So either way, it'll work, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully, like, and you can be the invitation for others to choose more. And it's not all about Access. It's just like you, by being you, using the tools, yes. And like, I mean, for me, the whole purpose of Access, like, to create a new reality and like being you. Elodie was my invitation to Access. Like my wife, I just saw her in the morning, like 10 minutes before, waking up 10 minutes before me, and like doing some, like I can hear in the bathroom saying some stuff. I had no idea what it was. It was all of me comes to me with his joy and glory. All of life comes to me with his joy and glory in French, like 10 times in the morning. I just saw her face with a lot more smile, etc. on it. And at some point, oh, can you do me your thing, please? And she just ran my bath the first time. And then 10 days later, I asked her again, can you please do your thing? I can't even remember the name. And she did it again. She has been my invitation. And I was like, wow, I quit vaping. I knew it was because of that 2 days after. And I said, fuck, what's that? And I just start reading things and like reading the book, like Being You, Changing the World. And what I loved with that book and Access was like, it's not about having answer. It's all about question. And I just saw myself as a big onion. I'm not sure, chives, I don't know, like a lot of layer. Like it's not for going somewhere. It's like to really reinforce what you know and what you can do, and see all the magical and greater possibility you already have available. It's just about choosing it. I was like, wow. So if you do that with people, like just ask what people can earn, but like just go for it. Be the invitation for women outside of Access just by being you. That's attractive.
You mean Access is about empowering people to know that they know?
Oh yeah, thank you. That's not about that. I should write that down somewhere.
So guys, as well, like if any of you have any questions, feel free to come off mute. And it's like you can ask about anything. It's like, you know, if your relationship is falling apart and you would like to have a different possibility with it, or if it's going great and you want to know how it gets better, it's like you guys can ask anything. So
yeah,
if
just
you have
jump
questions,
in. Because if you don't have questions, Sul will go on page 26. I know that already. And you don't want to let him go to page 26.
Got to keep me and everyone else awake somehow.
You're like, they are all wondering now what's on page 26 for sure.
Yeah.
Good 101 manipulation. Will I have the replay? Yes, Christoph, you will have the replay. Sure. It's recording now. Yeah, you can all just jump on, or And Sul, it's funny because the whole graphics about the range of the relationship series I've made, it's like it's all kind of red and like relationship like with a lover or spouse or whatever. But the relationship talk is about like every relationship. We could talk about your kids, about relationship with yourself, with buddies, with like buddies and buddies, whatever, like relationship, like starting to honoring you and nurturing your relationship with yourself will be the invitation for more and more and more and more kind of different relationship with other people or with animals, with bodies, with buddies, with friends. Yeah.
Totally. Yeah, I really like that. There is actually so much to explore with this, and I've been spending a lot of time with my son. He's like 3-year-old, or he's almost about to be 4, and I'm learning a lot from it because like I'm also being like looking at the future that's being created by the way that I'm interacting with him, the way that he's choosing to create his future. And it's like, it's a very different relationship for me because I've never had so much of a sense of how what I'm choosing also actually contributes to what's available for him, and also how every way that I interact with him, it's like it's one of those relationships that you just cannot hide from. There's no well, yeah, in parenting it's like there's not really like there's not many off moments where you get to, so it can be quite intense, and it's also what I've realized is that you also start to find a way where you have like more allowance for your choices, more allowance for their choices, and I guess you kind of start to see like there's a subtle awareness of what choice creates that you get from interacting with kids that I don't know if I've had that before with many people. It's quite
and
yeah,
especially at those age, like, because for me, like before 6-7 years old, like they just do want to, like, everything's possible. They have no point of view about limitation as we could have or buy or both. It's like just, oh, I want to do that. Yeah, you can't do that right now, Silas, or my son Noah can. Yes, I can. Why not? And to just go for it. And you're like, fuck, why doesn't want to listen to me or whatever? And it's so my first kid, I have 2 kids, 11 and 8, and I got them at 25 and 28 years old. And I put so much pressure on myself for them to be well educated and like, oh, I'm so young, people just looking at me, like trying to be the perfect dad and be like quite of like firm. I don't know in English the word, but like, oh, just please do that, like be well educated, say hi. And so I don't say you don't have to have them be polite, obviously. It's just, but it's a way of interacting with her. But I was like putting so much pressure on myself, and I was not creating the world I wanted for them. And it was so funny because sometimes it's just when you are your whole day at work and you're getting back home and you have to run to the school to get them, and it's like, who does this belong to? Like every stress of the day, and then you are there and you need to be present for them, and you need to cook at the same time, maybe do some cleaning the house and like read stories and everything. And it's like, oh my God, like it could be hard. And at the same time, the way they're growing up, and you can ask them for contribution, and you can use those tools, and like, who does this belong to? Like when they get back from school and like being really pumped up, I just ask them, hey, who does this belong to? Is that yours? And sometimes, oh no, because as they were young, they had no point of view. Like if you do that to an adult, you would do, yes, it's mine, it's mine. A kid just like, oh no. And just the whole energy of the room change. Don't use that on yourself, just for others. But yeah, who does this belong to? What else is possible to create? What relationship you'd like to create with your son, and destroying and creating your relationship with your kids too on a daily basis is awesome. And we really can tell, and we was talking about that with Elodie yesterday or the day before. Like really, there is sometimes you do it like every day on a daily basis, and sometimes for different reasons, traveling and stuff, you don't. And we could really say now the difference between the days when we have destroyed and create a relationship with our kids and days or period we did not. And it's fucking awesome because it's so fucking simple too. Like it's just like, that's the thing about those tools. They are so easy and simple. The only thing is to train yourself to use them first and then being them. And yeah, you can create completely different relationship with your kids too, your parents, your friends, your co-worker, your colleague, whatever. Like everything is possible. And when I saw Silas and you, like we had a lot of time all together in Milano, in London, in like Australia many times, and I just so much in love with you and your wife, Tiffani. Like, you know, like it's awesome what you guys are creating in a way which is not like the relationship the world want us to buy. It's like completely different relationship. Be away from each other at some point, etc. I do exactly the same with Elodie because I always ask what we're gonna create more for my life, and I want to be the invitation for them to choose more for them, not to follow me, to choose more for them. And
I love that.
mm.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, the thing you were talking about, destroying and then creating a relationship, it's like someone asked me that recently, and I was like, oh my God, I haven't done that for actually quite a while. And it's like, there was just such an instant sense of freedom because, you know, like how many of you as well that are listening will have these moments where you realize that you've just been like, you know, you've kind of been like categorizing all of this stuff in relation to one person, and it's like there's all this stuff there that doesn't have to be there. And it's like, this is what destroying and uncreating a relationship every day can contribute, is all of those, you know, whatever it is, whether it's projections and expectations or you know, thoughts, feelings, emotions about someone. It's like all of this stuff that gets stored in relation to someone, that it can, yeah, it doesn't have to be like that.
No. And do it in for yourself too, like destroy and create what you were yesterday. Like if you had no past, what would you choose today? And it's like, fuck, yeah, you could choose everything and change that in 10 seconds too. Like, but starting to ask, yeah, what would I choose if I had no past? Like everything's possible. What would I choose now? And once you choose it, you can change it every time. And if the same thing's coming, you know it's for you, like, you know, yeah, it's what I want to choose. Ask what's the next step for going to that. And like just it's the million choices you make every freaking day will create the life you desire. So what do you desire? What life do you want to create? Like, and start going there by little step, little step, little step. And by doing that, it's not being selfish, it's being the invitation for other people to choose more for themselves. And that's the whole point. Yeah, some people would just like be afraid of you choosing for you. Like they would say, oh, are you selfish or what? Like, yeah, you've kind of used, I cut every part of myself to enter into your box and fulfill your needs. So it's not going to be that anymore. And so some people will just look at you with big eyes and like, what the fuck is going on? And at the same time, just keeping those choices for you, what's honoring you, what's true for you, like where do you want to go, like what step you can put, what's the next step, and everything will create such a space for everyone around you and for the world to choose to create more for them. And even if the people like you are afraid to lose, what if you have the willingness to lose everyone and everything? Doesn't mean you have to choose to lose them, but just, yeah, if you really like creating the life as you'd like to be, like, wow, that will be the invitation for other people. Sorry, I just add like, yeah, what the like something different is available, and like you by choosing for you will be the invitation, and it will create that possibility for a new reality in the world. Yeah. Choose it for you, not to please anyone else. More of that.
Yeah. I mean, we've, most of us have grown up with the examples of, how do I, like Romain was saying, cut pieces and parts off of myself in order to fit into what other people have decided is, you're supposed to have, and you end up losing you in the process. And some of the things that come up with relationship can be really like confronting, because they also bring up some places where you really get to look at, am I really choosing for me here, or am I choosing to match someone else's reality? And it's like, a lot of what comes up is usually there's a different possibility available right behind something that can seem like a terrible, awful thing. And often it just takes that one step more, being willing to be vulnerable, lower your barriers. And like, I've had many times where, for example, with my partner Tiffani, where we've just been like, grumpy and like yelling at each other, and then just gone, wow, who are we being right now? Like, is this really what we desire to create? And it's like, just even that acknowledgement of like, okay, we might not actually be being us here. We might be being, what like this reality considers relationship should be, or whatever. And it's like, oh my God. And you find yourself doing it. And it's that, I don't know if any of you have had that moment where, you ask someone about something and you're like, you're really serious about it. And you're like, there's this terrible problem. And then someone goes, does that belong to you? And you're like, oh my God, it's not mine.
Yeah.
It's similar kind of thing, So, yeah. Yeah, and I also get as well that, like, I mean, also I'll speak personally as well. There's been many things with my, I guess, relationship in terms of with a partner that have been like really uncomfortable, and it's like it's one of the, I guess, the areas where a lot of people will kind of like seek safety in or something. And so when you start to undo some of the functions of relationship that have been based on like the concepts of this reality, just know that stuff can get kind of weird and funky. And it's like, what if that wasn't wrong? What if that was actually something changing and a new space becoming available? Because there's a whole lot of distractor implants and all sorts of yummy stuff that gets activated by things that come up in relationship.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I so love that conversation. Yeah. I mean, it's really funny because when like I can remember a few years back, like as we were at the bar together, like being with Elodie at the dining table and like not talking much, but really being present with each other without words. And at the same time, just like, oh, like making myself wrong for not having the biggest chat on the planet because we are all over together. The kids were with their grandma, whatever. Like we should have been talking like for 3 hours nonstop without breathing and like, and yeah, make myself wrong for that based on what this reality said a relationship should be, and not about really being present with the relationship and the relationship you create with your partner. And I'm like, fuck, how many times you just make yourself wrong because you're not act like you think you should act based on what that reality brings up to you for a relationship, but your parents, your friends, or whatever. Like, it's funny how many people judge relationship too. Like, yeah, oh, I have not much friends now judging a lot, but I can remember like for a lot of time, like, I never like when people judge people who are not there. You know what I mean? It was all my life make me feel uncomfortable and leave. Like, and if I have something to say to someone, I just said it, you know, like in front of him, and like it creates so much more space for everyone. Yeah, yeah, it's funny. Yeah, all those expectation and projections which are not ours. Fuck that. Like, let's just choose something different and create a completely different reality about that. And guess what? Just a choice again and again and again. Yeah. And let's bring some chaos. I asked Sul to facilitate me at the beginning of the month during a class, with the vulnerability to do it during a class, and it was awesome. I was asking for more vulnerability, less control, and let's bring more chaos. And you told me, oh, but you are one of the people I know which have the more vulnerability on earth. Yeah, but I want more. I know it will create like vulnerability for me, so biggest potency, and like more vulnerability would bring a greater world for sure. And I was like, okay, but I still get some control I want to be rid of. And like, let's bring some chaos into our lives and relationship and work, business, everywhere. What could it create if you had no point of view on how things should be, but you just ask questions on what else is possible to create here, to create a greater world, to create a greater relationship and everything. It's just there. You just have to choose and ask questions. That's beautiful.
Yeah. It is, my friend. And yeah, does anyone have anything they'd like to ask?
Viktor is quiet today. Maybe he's sleeping or something. I'm just teasing him. Oh, yes, he is. I didn't see I have the camera there. We love you, Viktor.
He is asleep. Oh, that's great.
Yeah. Love you. Bro. Maybe we're just down.
Yeah, I get it's kind of done. I mean, yeah, you're a brave man going on this adventure. It's a great topic, and yeah, there's so much to explore. And thanks everyone for coming on and having this chat with us. And who's on next? There's some amazing facilitators on this series.
I think it's Sarah Grandinetti, the next one.
Oh wow, she's amazing, and she knows a lot about like contribution and being a contribution and creation, and just yeah. So make sure you come on for that. She's amazing.
And I'm really grateful about all of you guys choosing to attend the call first, all of you watching that live or the replay, and also all the facilitator will make the choice just to come and play with me on relationship subject, which is not the most easy subject for a lot of people. and I get a lot of people like people participating, just saying like, oh, I don't even know why I choose to come play with you in front of everyone, but it was just light, and so I come. It's funny, relationship subject, we made that so significant instead of just having the fun of it and play with that. And those conversations, I love them. Thank you so much for being here, Sul. For every facilitator will join me in the next, I don't know, until June. We had a new date to like until the 11th of June, something like that. So every week, please come, join, have fun. Thank you so much for being there. Thank you, Christophe. And I will send the replay soon. And thank you so much. Thank you, Sul. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Romain. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye-bye. See you soon.